The FTO, it's easy. You don't need to know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, although it would help. If you want to get this FTO, it's pretty cheap. You can get it from speedcubeshop.com. Use code NOBLE for 5% off. To solve the FTO, there's only 5 steps. The first step is to solve the white face without the corners. The second step is to solve 2 of these triples. I'll explain what triples are in a second. The third step is to solve all 3 of the remaining centers. The fourth step is to solve the last white corner. And the last step is split up into 2. Solve the last 3 triples like this, and finally solve all of the last corners. Before we get started, I need to explain what a triple is. A triple is when you make a sequence of these 3 pieces like this. So a corner piece and then 2 of the triangles next to it. It can also look like this on a different corner. So when I say triple, just know that that's what it means. So the first step is to do the white 6 pieces here without the corners. As you can see, there are 2 different types of white pieces. There's edge pieces like this, which have another color next to them. And then there's the triangle pieces that just look like this. It's best to pair these up next to each other because a triangle is always next to an edge. Once we've got some like this, we can put another triangle next to it as so, and this one already had an edge next to it. And the way we build up the remaining ones using sort of 4x4 center techniques, but if you don't know, I'll show you. So for something like this where we want to connect this one with this, we can put this over here, turn this up, and then just bring it down like that. If we have a case where we've got all the last ones and then 1 edge remaining, all we have to do is connect one of the triangles with the edge like this, bring these 2 in as so, and then we just have 1 triangle left. We just pair it like this, put it on top of where it needs to go, turn these like that, and that made those 3 in a row, and then we can just put them down. This is a bit of an intuitive step, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. A thing to note, the Diane Ching FTO, like this one I have here, uses the same color scheme as a regular Rubik's Cube, with white on top and then red and blue in this order. If you end up solved, but blue is left of red, then this is really easy to solve. All you do is bring one of the corners up like this, rotate, and then connect back on the other side, just like that. Then it goes red, blue, and purple. The next step is to make triples like this using one of the white corners. I'm going to show an example here with the white, blue, and purple corner. Don't worry about the orange for now. We want to hold this on the opposite side, so this is the top side here, opposite of the bottom. We can rotate these independently from each other so they don't mess up. So what we're looking for in this middle slice here, we want to find a purple triangle. And as you can see, there's one here, so all we could do is just turn this, and that'll connect. If there isn't one like this, all we have to do is find one either on the top or the bottom, and we can rotate it without messing up the corner that we want. Just rotate this to the side like that, so that'll bring it down, and then we can push it across. Now how we get the blue one is we rotate this like so. This will be on the bottom now, and those are still connected, and then we need to find a blue one in the middle slice, but as you can see, we don't have one either. So all we have to do is find one like this, which we can bring up like that, and that put it in here, and then we can connect those. And as you can see, we have these 3 connected as a triple. Now it's quite simple to put in, we just rotate it down, but if it's not in the correct spot like this, we put it back up, rotate the bottom, and then just slice it down. And now we've connected this triple to the centers here. Now we just have to do one more. So I'm going to do this one here, purple, red. So we want to find a purple one. There's a purple triangle just here, which we can connect up. And now we want a red one, and there's also a red one here. So I can just turn this like that, rotate across, and that paired up the whole thing. We just need to make sure we didn't break our previous triples. So now we can just turn this down into where it needs to go, and we've made this sort of shape with 2 triples connected. Now we don't finish this one yet because for the next step, we need this move to be free. So this step, we're completing the green, gray, and orange centers here. It's very important to know in this step, we can only do 3 moves. Turn the top, turn this side, and then turn this side with wide moves or middle moves like this. For simplicity's sake, I always do green first. If you know anything about Yao on 4x4, this might be really beneficial, but if not, I'll show you. So we have these 2 here like this. I want to find this edge, so this will be one with another color. As you can see, there's one here. I can turn this because we don't worry about this slice yet breaking up. And now I can put this over here and not worry about it. So then I can move this down, and we don't want to rotate because then we'll start slicing through here. We always want to hold our hand like this, okay? So this piece is free to move around. So we've got some more greens here. We can put these down like this, and then we can actually put these in just like so. And now we've got almost all of them, and we just have one more, which how we connect this is we'll just do a move like this, and that made the 3, and then we just rotate this across and put that down like so. Now a thing to note is that these centers have orientation. So if we see, we have purple, red, and yellow. Yellow will be on this side because it's opposite white, and we need red and purple to be in the same spot. So as you can see, if we rotate like this, red and purple need to be flipped. All we do is just do these moves. Push this down, rotate, up, and then we just connect this one in like that. And now when we rotate down, we'll see that red and purple are connected in the correct way. You also need to know the color scheme. So that was green. The next one is gray, and then on top will be orange. So I'm going to finish off gray just here. So we'll finish off something like this, bring these down. We have these 4 pieces here. And the way we solve this is by using this triangle to pair up with here. But the problem is when we do this, how do we get it up the top? Is we have to make sure this triangle is here when we do it. So move this across into this slice like this, then move this up, rotate this across to here and then down. And that means that now when we move this here, we can connect these up just like so. If we have one edge left like this, instead of a triangle, all we do is connect this up like this, then we move this across, down, and then we have a triangle here and this 2 here, which we could just do the same thing. Rotate this so it's in a position where it'll pair up, and then we move these up, across, and then down. Now we also have to make sure our orientation and permutation of these are correct as well. So as you can see, red is here and blue is here, but these should actually be swapped because yellow is at the top. So it's pretty simple. All we do is these moves. Bring this one up the top, bring this over, do this, and then we just connect like this, and then we just orientate this again by just rotating back as so. And as you can see now, if we turn this, blue's here, red's here, and this is solved. And we'll just check orange as well. The last one will always be permutated correctly if these 2 are, but we still need to rotate this just in case. And there you can see this is correct. So now all those 3 centers are done, we need to fill in this gap with the last white corner. The white corner could be in here already. It could be here, here, or here. I'm going to show you what happens if it's in the top layer. And yes, we can now rotate this freely, just like it was a U layer on a 3x3. So the white, red, and blue corner is this one right here. So we can rotate this around the top as much as we want. And the plan is to make a triple out of these 3. We want to get a blue triangle here and a red triangle here. We can rotate the top until we find a blue triangle just like this to pair it up with. And then all we need to do is flip this and then pair it with a red. But how do we flip this without disturbing anything else? This is where our sledgehammer algorithm comes in. There's only 2 algorithms we need to know at this step, and they're really simple. They're only 4 moves. The sledgehammer goes like this, and the hedge slammer is the opposite, but it's at the back, and it goes like this. What both these algorithms do is they flip these 3 pieces in a triple, these 3 pieces in a triple, and it'll keep these as is, so it won't flip these 3. So as you can see, we've got blue at the bottom, red at the top, and if we do a hedge slammer, it'll flip that, but it also moved it across one. But if you notice, we have red, yellow, white, red. If we do that algorithm, it moved it across, but it's still in the same orientation. This algorithm is really helpful in trying to make triples. So if we flip this, it means that the blue pieces will be on top, and that means red will be in this slice ready to pair up. So if we do a hedge slammer like that, and we've got this piece which can move around until we find a red. Now as you can see, we don't have any reds actually. The red's here. We want the red in either one of these 3 spots. But that's okay. Like I said before, if we put this one in this spot specifically, it won't get flipped. So this one will get flipped, which is what we want because we want that at the bottom. So we just do a hedge slammer. And then as you can see, this wasn't flipped, but this one was. So then we can turn the top and connect this up like that. And now we've got our triple. And how we get this in, just like this, is we hold it on the side and we do these moves. That's made all of the bottom corners completed. One more case before we continue. If we've completed the triple, but it's on this side, and if you do those moves to insert it, it'll go in upside down. This is pretty simple. All we have to do is just get it over onto this side and do the reverse. All we want to do is hold it at the back, do a hedge slammer, and as you can see, that moved it to the other side. But this is still a problem because we can't get it in without it being upside down. So how we flip this is we hold it at the back. If we do a sledgehammer, it'll just move across. It won't actually get flipped if it's in this position. So there we go. So now it's here, and now it's in a position where we can just do our insertion into that spot. So we're finally up to the last step, which is getting the 3 triples all solved. So just like the previous step, we want to flip and then pair. So it's very important to know either of the hedge slammer or the sledgehammer algorithm, it flips these 3 and these 3, but it only moves these 3. So if there's any stage you want something to stay as it is, you put it in this position when doing the algorithm. A good example of this is here. We have these 2 yellows connected, and this red one is connected to a yellow. We want this red connected to a red, but the only red is right here. We want to keep that as is so we can flip this one but not that, and then eventually pair it up. We'll hold this in the spot that doesn't get affected, and we'll flip this one and this one. So we'll do a hedge slammer, and then as you can see, that's still at the bottom, but this is also at the bottom. So we can connect this up, and now this whole thing is solved. Next, we'll move on to another one. We've got blue, which is in an interesting position where they're both at the top. We obviously want them both in the bottom section of either side here. So if we flip these, it won't affect this. And now both blues are at the bottom, and we can connect them up just like that. Finally, we should just be able to turn the pieces until they all connect up, and then the 3 triples are all solved like this. Before we continue, there's a few cases that you might run into. If we have a triple solved like this and a triple solved like this, but we have one more that isn't solved and it's on top of each other like that. You just want to flip this corner so the colors connect. It's just these moves. We want to rotate the bottom, then we do a hedge slammer, and that was red on this side, right? So now we want to find the red one, which went over here, rotate here, solve that, and now we just want to do a hedge slammer going this direction like this. And if we rotate everything, and that will solve all of the triples. Once all the triples are solved, we want to just do a hedge slammer or sledgehammer to get them all in their correct spot. As you can see, we've got purple, blue, and red triples, and we've got purple, blue, and red side. We hold it if it looks like this, with the 2 colored ones on the back, and then the yellow one here. And we want to see, is this blue? So we put the blue on this side, and we do the moves like that, and that solves all of the corners. If we have a case like this, where this one's already solved, and this is actually in its correct spot, like the blue is here, and the red is here as well, we hold them like this, do a sledgehammer, and then we just do another one going down like this, and that solves them just like that. Finally, it should look like this, and this is the last move we need to do. If you know beginner method on a 3x3, this would probably help, but what we do is we hold it at the bottom, we lift this one up, and we make note of the colors. We have it going clockwise, meaning that we're going to turn the bottom clockwise. So we do these moves. We pull this out, just like that, rotate the bottom, so there's another spot here, rotate this up and push across, and then rotate this across again, do the same thing, rotate once more, insert, and then that solves the whole thing. If the colors need to go the other direction, we do the same thing, pull this out, but then rotate the bottom this direction instead, and then that solves the whole thing. So I hope this was helpful. If there's anything you need clearing up, write it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.